Bridges in Infraworks 360 have a sophistication that matches the component roads. Watch as I create a bridge on this rather complex cross-section, and the bridge is able to recognize the complex geometry of the component road, including the divided 4-lane road, the sloped grass median, and so on. Next, you'll see how I can replace the geometry of the bridge with a different assembly, and yet it still matches the complex configuration that comes with component roads. Something interesting to note is that this bridge respects not only the complex geometry of the component road, but also the super elevation that's been applied to this road. As you can see, the lanes are super elevated on the bridge to match the road. So bridges are able to recognize and handle the complex geometry offered by component roads and super elevation. Now let's take a look at the bridge itself and the fact that it's in some ways a component-based design also. If I click the bridge, I have the ability to go into component display, where I can turn on or off different major components of the bridge, such as the road, the deck, girders, and so on. I'm going to limit my view to simply the deck and the girders. And you can see when I click the bridge to select it, my display is limited to the components that I want to see. Now another aspect of this component behavior is that we can actually edit certain components of the bridge in a very detailed fashion. For example, I can click the deck and change values on the deck itself, such as the thickness, edge thickness, tapering, and so on. So the bridge deck in this case behaves much like one of the components when we're dealing with component roads. Now another added benefit that I have is that I can add additional cross sections. If I click this starting slice gizmo and then the plus sign, I can add a new slice at a different location. And the dimensions of this slice can be independently controlled, so that if I want to do something like change the thickness, and I'll use something dramatic here, 8 feet, so that we can see it very clearly, I can actually have a varying cross-section throughout this component. And there you can see the result of adding that additional slice. As you might expect, I can click the slice and move it to a new location, and that transition point along the cross-section of the component will move with it. I've got a similar capability with girders, so let's turn off the deck and turn on the piers. And if I select a girder, I have the same capability where I can add an additional slice and change the dimensions for that point along the cross-section of the component. So imagine the possibilities of being able to modify the cross-sectional geometry of the deck and girders on a bridge. So why are all these new bridge capabilities so important? They allow you more detailed control of your design to meet more project needs.